Shots rang out, and the man who defied a local industry was dead. This man was George C. Haddock. George C. Haddock was a local pastor at First Methodist Church in downtown Sioux City. From the moment Haddock appeared in the bustling, muddy streets, the activist reverend embarked on delivering fiery speeches and lamentated against the liquor laws in the prairie cow town. In 1882, the Hawkeye State passed the Clark Law in the state constitution. The new law abolished liquor in the whole state of Iowa, but Sioux City had other plans. In order to combat the statute, the city was granted by the state to invade this law and assign fines and fees to businessmen who sold the White Lightning. Pastors in Sioux City perorated against the lawlessness, but as a result, they were threatened with violence. Many fled as a result. Haddock decided to stay and stand his ground. He determined to take these establishments to court to prove they were violating the state constitution. Haddock was mocked and spit upon by many in the working class. Daily he received death threats, but prevailed to reduce the sales of alcohol, primarily by enlisting parish members and the scorned wives of the midnight boozers picketing at the Pearl Street gin mills. Then on one stormy August night, Haddock was making his rounds snooping for speakeasies breaking the liquor laws. Two men lay in the shadows. Haddock called out the ghostly figures while holding a rope and an iron wheel. And as he ambled closer to one man, another sprang out in the darkness, squeezing off 3 rounds from a Navy Colt. Haddock stumbled and collapsed to his death on the corner of 6th and Pearl. The city was at an uproar. Inevitably, a trial had commenced, and John Ashcroft, a former member of the local brewing company, was accused of the crime. Eyewitnesses testified and described what they had witnessed. Ansdorf was the perpetrator. The first trial ended in a hung jury, and at the second, Ansdorf was found not guilty. To celebrate the result of the trial of John Ansdorf, with the company of the jury that acquitted him, stormed out of Woodbury County Courthouse, parading a short block to Pearl Street, and drank until dawn. George C. Haddock's death did not go in vain, as years later liquor was made illegal in the city. To commemorate the death, a plaque was stamped into the concrete while he was fatally shot. In 2013, to great irony, his plaque was removed and placed in the Sioux City Museum to make room for the Hard Rock Casino. Coden pastor of the First Methodist Church where Haddock started his campaign, talks about his legacy.
Reverend Haddock, I believe he was a man of deep commitment. And he, in coming to Sioux City to pastor this church, what he did, he came and he spoke out against the, as it says, the prohibitory laws that were against alcohol at the time, that were in Iowa at the time. And he spoke out against them along with others, and in doing so, he took a lot of heat, but he stood up for his principles. I believe he was right, both through the laws, because if you look at the history, Sioux City was one who flaunted the laws. They let it be known that they had bars, they had free-flowing liquor when it was against the state laws to have that. So from the legal aspect, he's right, as well as from a moral aspect in the families and in looking at the quote-unquote evils that happen with the overindulgence of liquor. I think morals in society are the same, and they always have been. There are situations that are different, but I think, as a pastor, one of the things that makes the Bible truly alive today is because the same moral dilemmas you had back then in biblical times, before Jesus in the Old Testament, they're still going on today in 2014. So as far as morals, those are set. We always tend to just do with them what we want at times. My understanding of a martyr is that a martyr was one who dies for their principles. And he died for his principles. It wasn't like he sat here and went in knowing he was going to die. He was attacked without knowing it and working with that. But so that's how I'd view, what a martyr is.
What do you think his legacy is going to be?
It's interesting because not many people knew his legacy before the Hard Rock Casino was going to be built. No one knew where the marker they had down, that was put down in 1937, down at the corner there of Water and Fourth. No one could even find it many times and where it was. I think what it'll be is a legacy to help show that it gives the alternative to the casino being there. It evens it out. Many people have asked, do I think it's proper that they're going to have still a marker outside? It'll be on the outside of the casino wall, even more so than we had before. That marker will be even closer to the intersection because they don't know exactly where he died. They don't know where he fell. When they put the marker down in 1937, you have to put it closer to the side of the road because you can't put it in the middle of the road or people will get hit while looking at the marker. It'll actually be closer to the intersection. The Hard Rock has been more than generous in putting it up. The marker will be placed on a wall, and above it will be a plaque that Haddock's congregation, which was then located, First Methodist Church was located down on 7th and Nebraska at the time. They're making a brass replica of a plaque the congregation put up in honor of him. So in doing so, people have asked, was it proper to have him right outside the casino? But when he was here, he would go outside the bars. So I think it's a very proper place for him to be because there he is right outside of it.